Part 33. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 323. Chai Jingwen was speechless for a long time, and then said quietly, "There are 2 students from our high school who have been admitted to the Mecha department of Wushan University. It's such a big sensation. Have you always gone to retreat to cultivate immortality, so there is no noise wake you up?" 2. One is Xiao Ling and who is the other? Ling Ziling or Shaowenzi? Fang Xian expressed his guess. Below Xiao Ling in Tianhua High School, there are only 4 kindergarten kings left: Luo Yi, Song Jinggang, Ling Ziling, and Shaowenzi. In addition, he didn't know the news. Firstly, he didn't pay attention to it, and secondly, probably because Luo Cheng was afraid of provoking him, so he never mentioned it. What led to Tianhua High School's bumper harvest in the college entrance examination this year, he actually only now knows. It's T-balls. Chai Jingwen replied. It turned out to be her. I remember, she is the martial artist, right? Fang Xian nodded, thinking of the scene where he saw Shaowenzi. Should he be one of the protagonists in the future? That's why it was a sensation. She is a special move. A special move. It is said that a super talent has been awakened. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it was a sensation on the spot. A teacher came directly from Wushan University and specially recruited mechas. Tai. This is fate. Fang Xian nodded. Warriors in this world have cultivated to a high level, and may pass on some supernatural powers to their descendants, becoming so-called talents. Most of them are very general, just better than nothing. But just like there are always genetic mutations in nature, with such a large population base on martial arts star, it is normal for a few super talents to appear occasionally. This is consistent with his previous observation. The protagonist, who doesn't have a cheat or something. In addition, Ling Ziling went to the Kendo department of Tianhua University. I heard that she missed the Mecha department by 0.5 points. She is cultivating desperately and wants to transfer to the department. Chai Jingwen rambled on about all the experiences of high school classmates, and finally asked, "When will we get together during the winter vacation?" "No, I still have to move bricks." Fang Xian refused without thinking. Luo Yi's classmate was not his. "Okay, you are the uncle. Just be careful that when we meet in the future, they will beat you up." Chai Jingwen said angrily. "Why did we meet?" Fang Xian asked a little strangely. He was going to hide in the school, and he wouldn't go back to his hometown during the winter vacation. Tianwu 100 school freshman entrance examination, boss, you don't even know this? Chai Jingwen almost vomited blood. "Wait, let me take a look first." Fang Xian knocked on his forehead, remembering. After all, practicing martial arts is different from learning. You have to experience more actual combat to improve. Therefore, various martial arts competitions emerge endlessly in this world. For example, the world's #1 martial arts competition, Xiao Holy Grail competition, Sword Emperor battle, etc. There are countless competitions. This joint examination for freshmen of 100 schools of Tianwu has a folk name called Freshman Contest, which is held exclusively in the freshman year, and every school has to take the test. As a freshman of Dongzhou Technician College, there is a high probability that I will not be able to escape. But Fang Xian wasn't too worried. What's the point of speeding up the restoration of waste work? Can't I buy pills to assist in internal strength cultivation? I have a special physique, can't I? It wouldn't be necessary to dissect it for such a trivial matter, would it? But Chai Jingwen didn't know this. He just said in a rambling manner, "One of the venues for this competition is in your Dongzhou. At that time, some candidates will be randomly selected to take the exam in another place, and even Xiao Linger may come." Oh. Fang Xian said a few perfunctory words, turned on the computer screen, searched for this year's 100 school entrance examination, and found a lot of information. The first place in the individual battle, reward 200,000 star yuan? One of the best martial arts? It's interesting. Fang Xian rubbed his thumb and index finger. He is relatively frugal, but practicing martial arts is a bottomless pit, and there are tuition fees, food expenses, and so on. In this world, the monitoring is relatively strict, and the law enforcement warriors are too strong, which makes it difficult for him to engage in some crooked ways. Besides, wouldn't it be good to be a strong man all the way in a peaceful way? Why bother to fight and kill? Most of the time, if you don't break the rules, you can use the power of the rules to protect yourself. Like now, as a salted fish, I am having a good time, and no one will step on me. If you want to make a fortune, this time is a chance. Besides, I'm still short of a high level of internal strength. After a martial artist, I can't really use the White Tiger 7 kills, right? Then you will become a demon warrior. Besides, it is also in line with my plan, and I must start to be famous. At this moment, Fang Xian heard some noise outside. Well, I still have something to do, so hang up. He hung up the communication, walked to the balcony, and saw two groups of people gathered under the dormitory building, as if they were about to start a fight. A young man with green spots on his head, his eyes were red, looking like he wanted to eat a yellow hair opposite him. Yellow-blue? Fang Xian thought for a while, turned over and jumped off the balcony, landing lightly on the ground. What's going on? The yellow-haired man on the opposite side stole the girlfriend of the fourth child. Wang Lei summed up the cause of the incident in one sentence: what else can I say? Them. It's not very good. Everyone in this world is a warrior, with rough skin and strong recovery ability. Fighting and fighting are very normal. As long as it is not seriously injured, disabled, or killed, no one takes it seriously. This is also the trend in the school, but Fang Xian is determined to be a salted fish, and the name of beating kindergarten children is not very good, so he is a little hesitant. Boss, second, and fourth, help me with them, I'll take care of anything. Huang Lan looked at the yellow hair, roared angrily, and rushed out. Hit them. The opponent is not a vegetarian either, so he immediately counterattacked. A wretched man waved a stool leg he had drawn out from nowhere, and threw it at Fang Xian's head. You can only fight if you don't fight. Fang Xian used the move of golden snake wrapping the wrist to directly remove the two arms of this little bum-looking classmate, and another move of Shenji leopard tail, which knocked down a classmate who was 5 years old and 3 thick. I took the time to glance at a few roommates. Well, both Wang Lei and Ning Chen have 2 brushes under their command, grabbing the enemy and beating them hard. As for yellow and blue, this kid didn't talk anymore. He was pressed to the ground by the yellow hair and beat him. If he talked too much, he would cry. Oh, there is already a little green on the head, it would be too miserable to see red again. Fang Xian couldn't bear it, stepped forward, kicked Huang Mao, and kicked him flying over 100 caddies. You dare to hit me? Huang Lan turned over and pressed Huang Mao under her body, full of old punches. Let you hit me, let you rob me. When the other students saw this scene, instead of being afraid, they happily became the onlookers enjoying soy sauce. Stop. Finally, the campus security team arrived, and finally, under the hands of Fang Xian and others, they rescued the bunch of pig heads. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 324. Counselor's Office. You guys are amazing, you are so patient. Cao Kinkin's face sank like water. You actually fight in groups on campus. Do you learn martial arts just to be brave and ruthless? Teacher, don't worry, we'll act appropriately. Huang Lan probably lost her temper at this time, and became playful again. I know the rules, I will cover all their medical expenses. Fang Xian glanced sideways at Huang Lan. Could it be that this kid, with the same attributes as Chai Jingwen, is a hidden rich second generation? Is this a matter of medical expenses? In fact, Cao Qianqian didn't take it seriously. She saw a lot of students fighting, and it would be abnormal if they didn't fight. But now it's just the beginning of freshman year, and if you don't suppress it, how will you manage it in the future? Okay, okay. At this time, when the door was pushed, He came in. Mr. Cao, leave this to me. Okay, please. Cao Qianqian nodded and left quickly. Her cultivation base is still too low to suppress these thorns, so she has to find a ruthless person to deal with them. He pulled out the chair and lay down carelessly, glanced at Fang Xian, Ning Chen, and Wang Lei, and sneered, "You guys, give me a warning and punishment, do you accept it? How did this happen? What's the big deal?" Huang Lan exclaimed in surprise, "In our school, isn't it the turn to warn you only if you fight 10 times or cause someone to slander you? Are you a teacher or am I a teacher? I said the rules have changed." He clasped his hands with a stern expression. He is a martial artist after all. If he really wants to do this, the students really have no way to resist. "Okay, old Joe, just tell me something." Fang Xian picked out his ears, but was not intimidated by He's Wang's Hijao at all. "Okay. Let's fight, it's a big deal." "It's nothing." The iceberg on He's face melted, and he said with a smile, "It's the recent Tianwu 100 schools joint examination, our school team is short of people." "Isn't this a large-scale martial arts test? Why is there a school team?" Fang Xian asked suspiciously. Immediately, Wang Lei pulled his sleeves and said in a low voice, "In addition to the unified examination and individual competition, each school has to select a school team, which is regarded as a top student, to conduct team competitions, and there are live broadcasts, but our school, you know." "Oh, the freshmen's first round of individual competition exams are all over, and the school team will go to the arena to embarrass themselves." Fang Xian nodded and understood in seconds. "Ahem, that's how it is." He blushed. "The principal handed this matter over to me, but the school team couldn't get together. It just so happened that I was very optimistic about you guys. As long as you agree to play, this matter will be wiped away." "Okay, isn't it just a shame to go to the court?" "I'll go." Huang Lan impassionedly agrees. "You can't go, at most you can count as a substitute," He replied faintly. "So, if the team battle is rewarded, how will it be divided?" Fang Xian thought for a while and asked the most critical question. "You still want to win an award? At least you have to enter the top 16. Those are the private lands of second-rate universities, generally, the strength of martial arts students above 10th rank." He waved his hands speechlessly. "If you want to win the award, the principal will have to offer you up. The prizes will definitely be given to you, and the school will also give bonuses. No, I will leave my words here, as long as you can make progress. 50, the school will reward you." Sure enough, low expectations also have the benefits of low expectations, surprises and rewards are double. Fang Xian nodded secretly. Although he is currently only an 8th-level martial artist, this kind of global competition will last at least a few months and a half a year, and he might break through the martial arts by just hitting it. "Then I'll go." Fang Xian nodded. He was going to participate and get some rewards. Wang Lei and Ning Chen looked at each other, and sighed in the same way. "We have also participated." "Okay, a gentleman, let's go." He laughed. "The school team is a 5-a-side system, plus 3 substitutes. I will find 2 more teammates for you. Hurry up and train, at least you must enter the 2nd place." "Will, so it won't be so ugly." Walking out of the office door, Huang Lan was a heartless person, and she actually laughed again. "Haha, this time for the freshman competition, those third-rate universities must know how powerful our Dongzhou 4 Tigers are. Because there was no one else, Zhou He actually made Huanglan an honorable substitute. Fang Xian and Ning Chen took a few steps back indiscriminately, showing expressions of "I don't know this person and it has nothing to do with me." Only Wang Lei was more stable, and after thinking about it for a while, he said, "The freshman competition is not easy. The team battle adopts the mode of will battle, and they will play one by one until the last one is out, therefore, the order is very important. When all the personnel are gathered, it is best to start joint training immediately. Well, it is also very important to select generals. The so-called general is the captain, and the finale candidate is often the strongest." As soon as this was mentioned, Ning Chen looked at Fang Xian. "There's no other way, the taller than the short, Luo Yi's 6th level of martial arts is actually the most advanced in internal skills, and he also knows that Luo Yi's moves are superb, so he has already been convinced." 3 days later, the school gymnasium. Zhou He was dressed in a coach uniform, looking at the 8 people in front of him. "Now I announce the school team list. Official members: Luo Yi, Wang Lei, Ning Chen, Tao Yuan, Zhang Lei. Substitute members: Huang Lan, Luo Song, Zhang Tianfeng. Now, I'll give you 10 minutes to choose your own captain." After Zhou He finished speaking, he ran away to drink a drink. "I don't agree. Why is Tao Yuan an official team member?" Huang Lan glanced at Tao Yuan, who had thick glasses, and took the lead in attacking her. Tao Yuan's complexion remained unchanged. She came to the qi testing machine and input the qi. Ding, the qi index is 58. A mechanical sound suddenly sounded. "Just because I'm level 5, you're level 4, and I'll beat you up." Tao Yuan seemed to think of the revenge at the meeting at the beginning, and she spoke very bluntly. "Okay, you are amazing." Huang Lan shrank his head and stopped talking. "Leave the substitutes aside. We have to choose the captain and general first, as well as the forwards, sub-forwards, backbones, and lieutenants. In team battles, the forwards are the first to go up, and the moves are best to be sharp and aggressive. The generals are the last to defend. The most powerful." Wang Lei said. "You don't need to choose, just go to the test. Whoever is the strongest will be the general." Zhang Lei looks soft and weak, but in fact she is very violent. In this world, there are no delicate girls. She kept silent and started the test directly. Ding, the qi index is 67. It's also a level 6. Wang Lei glanced at Fang Xian, meaning that the two of us can't do it, it's up to you. Fang Xian was a little speechless. He came to the testing machine and injected his true energy. Ding, the qi index is 91. Puff. Zhou He, who seemed to be staying out of the matter in the distance, but whose ears were actually twitching, immediately sprayed. He ignored the traces of the drink on his body, and came to Fang Xian. "Are you a martial arts student at the 9th level? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 325. "Yeah, I made a breakthrough recently." Fang Xian answered very salty. "He did breakthrough last night, and he reached level 9. Ning Chen around was about to hide in the corner and draw circles. He asked himself that after being defeated, he worked harder and worked harder. Why did the harder he practiced, the bigger the gap became? 9th level Wushan, I have no objection to you being the captain and general." Zhang Lei's heart was shaken, but she still had no expression on the surface, and retreated to the team. "How is this possible? The most shocking thing was Zhou He. With your strength, the college entrance examination should be guaranteed. How did you end up here? Now that he has decided to participate in the competition, he will not be able to pass this level. Fang Xian shrugged his shoulders. I was originally a martial arts student, but I went crazy before the college entrance examination, and my martial arts were useless. I was messed up in the exam, and I came here. Who knew? After relaxing the mind, recultivating the basic internal strength, unexpectedly advanced rapidly, and recovered part of the strength. It turned out to be like this. Joe, he couldn't help being very sympathetic. It's a pity, if you choose to repeat for a year, no, it's our school's luck. He subconsciously wanted to say that if he repeated his studies for a year, he could at least get a second book, but when he suddenly thought of his position, he couldn't help but blush. Thinking about it this way, my school has really picked up a big leak, and there is still a chance to show up in this competition. Joe, he couldn't help but smile on his face. Very good, I've always been abolished and rebuilt. As long as the body is not injured, there is a high probability that it will be faster than before. Although it is rare to be like you, it is not uncommon. Later just go to the school doctor's office for a physical examination. Haha, in that case, you are the captain of the school team. He couldn't wait to report the good news to the principal. But after thinking about it, I decided to endure it. It will be even more surprising when the results of the competition come out, isn't it? It's better to make a bet with that iron cock again, the kind that wants to put his wife on it. I see. Fang Xian behaved very calmly. His alchemy and tribulation power can be stored in the soul, between reality and illusion, so he is really not afraid of any inspection. When the weather was getting colder, the joint examination for freshmen of Tianwu 100 schools, also known as the freshman competition and battle of the strongest newcomer king in various colleges and universities, finally kicked off. The competition is divided into individual competition and team competition. The first thing to start is the individual battle of large-scale selection. Fang Xian stood on the sidelines, and the process was roughly that each school held a true chi test first, and candidates below the 6th level of martial arts were directly eliminated, and they could go back to play freely and be spectators. In this one, Dongzhou Technician College was eliminated 99% of the time, and even the 3 regular team members were defeated, leaving him very speechless. Immediately, candidates from each region drew lots to compete, and the losers were eliminated immediately. In order to ensure fairness, some candidates will be selected by lottery and go to other regions to participate in the assessment, which can be regarded as a martial arts exchange. Fang Xian was lucky enough to take the exam directly in Dongzhou. As a result, after the first round, Zhang Lei was eliminated miserably, kneeling without temper at all. In a blink of an eye, he was the only one left in the whole school. Hoo-hoo. The north wind was fierce, and Fang Xian's thin body couldn't help shrinking in front of the huge Dongzhou Martial Arts Hall. A palm slammed onto his shoulder. It was Zhou He. At this time, Zhou He's eyes were red, like a gambler who lost everything. Luo Yi, you can't lose, you must advance to the top 100. Into the third round. I made a bet in front of the principal. All right. Fang Xian glanced at the attribute bar. During this period of time, he quietly broke through again, and he is already a 10th level martial arts student. Not to mention the experience of moves, just by comparing internal strength, it can crush most freshmen. Inside the martial arts hall, it has been divided into dozens of small arenas, and the second round of elimination battle will be held soon. Fang Xian looked at the big screen, found his competition area, and waited quietly in the rest area. Zhou He, on the other hand, was fidgeting. Ring number 17, match 38. Dongzhou Technician Academy Luo Yi, against Liaoshan Academy, Xuefi Fei. A mechanical sound sounded. It's your turn, come on. Zhou He hurriedly urged. Fang Xian glanced at his opponent, who had an oval face, a slender figure, and was pitiful. It's a woman. I don't want to hit a woman. Fart. Zhou He roared angrily, half of the warriors in the world are women. If you say you don't want to be beaten, you won't be beaten? You are discriminatory. Didn't you see how badly Zhonglei was beaten yesterday? Show mercy. I see. Fang Xian rolled his eyes and floated onto the stage. Student, be careful, this Luo Yi is good at using the magic machine leopard tail to sneak attack. Many people were defeated by this trick yesterday. As soon as he came to the stage, he heard Xue Fei's relatives and friends shouting from the audience, and he couldn't help but feel black. Hello classmate, please be merciful. Xue Fei saluted weakly. Hello, classmate. Just as Fang Xian was about to make a fist, he saw the girl's slender hands stick out, leaning forward, 2 fingers forked, and aimed at his eyes. It's polite to say it, but it's not polite at all. Fang Xian turned sideways speechlessly, stretching out his leopard tail and hooking his legs. Snapped. With astonishment on his face, Xue Fei fell on the ring, and was blocked by Fang Xian. Luo Yishan. The referee immediately announced loudly. Fang Xian nodded and continued to wait. Not long after, he was called to the ring again. This time, his opponent was a small student, and he used the rolling fist as soon as he came up, rolling around on the ground, obviously not planning to give him a chance to hook his legs. It was very targeted. Fang Xian rolled his eyes, made a wrong footstep, and used the Flying Dragon's 8-step lightness kung fu to come up behind the classmate, kicked him into a rolling gourd, and rolled all the way down the ring. Beating children is really boring. He stepped off the ring and was about to find a place to rest when he heard a burst of applause. A slim girl in purple clothes came over with a smile on her face. Old classmate, congratulations on your recovery. You are, Ling Xiling? Didn't you go to the Kendo department of Qinhua University? Why are you here? Fang Xian asked in surprise. Unlucky, I was selected as an exchange student. Ling Xiling pursed her lips and smiled. I'm down here, and I heard you have the nickname Shadowless Leg. When we meet in the arena, I won't show mercy. Shadowless Legs? That's not a good nickname, Fang Xian pouted, a little unhappy. Ling Xiling suddenly became even more unhappy, her chest was heaving with anger. Tell you, I have become a warrior. I will not lose to you again. She walked away angrily, wondering if she was the villain who was planning to go back to Zailuyi. Fang Xian yawned, and Zhou came to his side. This woman is very difficult to deal with. If I meet her, my wife will be ruined. This is my high school classmate, Fang Xian thought for a while. So, I have to pay more. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 326. Zhou seems to have a talent for crow's mouth. In the last match of the second round of the personal battle, the top 100 will be determined soon, and when they advance to the third round and step onto the global stage, Fang Xian encounters a stumbling block. Blocking Tigress. Ling Xiling from the Kendo department of Qinhua University. The moment he saw the result, Zhou looked up to the sky and screamed, feeling deeply that his wife was in crisis. After all, Ling Xiling is a warrior. Moreover, he is also a top student in the Kendo department of a top-ranking university. Placed in a small place like Dongzhou, it has the strength to compete for the top 10. The players enter. At this stage, the organizing committee also attaches great importance to it. Not only has a huge arena been merged, but there are also more choices and tricks. Blade or fist? The referee looked at the two of them and asked in a deep voice. Weapon. Ling Xiling gritted her teeth and stared at Luo Yi bitterly. Competing with your swordsmanship, do you think I'm stupid? Fist. Fang Xian seemed to speak without thinking. The players have differences, start random. The referee looked at the screen, a roulette wheel appeared on it, the pointer spun rapidly, and finally stopped at the column of fist and kick. Compete with fists and kicks, no weapons are allowed. The referee announced loudly, the competition begins. Under the arena, He was holding a communication bracelet, with a bitter expression on his face. Principal, how about voiding the bet you made before? I haven't asked for a wife yet, please take pity on me. Watch out. On the arena, Ling Xiling let out a coquettish chirp, and her figure was like a sword, piercing straight into Zhong Gong. Advanced light work, sword step. Although the martial artist is only level 8, the total amount of true energy far exceeds that of martial arts students. The 12th level of Wushan Dzogchen. The limit of Genkai is 120, but it is common for warriors to break through 200 Genkai, because the 8 extraordinary meridians can contain more Genkai than the 12 serious meridians. Once you get through Rendu's second channel, it is not impossible to go straight to 300. At this time, Ling Xiling, while bullying her body, turned her hands into palms, filled with true energy, and launched the most unpretentious sweep of thousands of troops all the way, in order to force Fang Xian to compete with her in internal strength. If this is the case, a martial artist must lose against a martial artist. Naturally, Fang Xian would not let her succeed. He turned sideways, leaped out like a loach, and escaped from Ling Xiling's palm wind. The golden loach crossing the river with 8 steps of flying dragon. After dodging sideways, he made a backhand move of heavenly official's blessing, and hit Ling Xiling on the back of the head. Ling Xiling remained calm in the face of danger, with her right hand pointing parallel to a sword, and a move of immortal guiding the way. She wanted to exchange one with Fang Xian to the limit. Fang Xian changed his move halfway, and the blessing of heavenly officials turned into Arhat holding fruit, and hit Ling Xiling's wrist. After winning half of the move, Xiao Xiao jumped back suddenly, leaving Ling Xiling's attack range. These few times the rabbits rose and falcons fell, and there was silence in the field, followed by applause. Awesome, I didn't expect that. Apart from the magical machine leopard tail, Wu Yingkick is also very proficient in other moves of the great grab hand. Before, the opponent was too good to force him. That female warrior's swordsmanship is also very powerful, it's just unlucky that she didn't draw the weapon. No, Shadowless Leg is just a martial arts student. It's enough to be proud of being able to fight like this with a martial artist. By the way, which university is he from? Let me see, Dongzhou Technician College? Is it fake? That kind of pheasant university can still produce talents? So strong. You are stronger than before. Ling Xiling seriously said to the other party, I will do my best in the future. Yeah, please do it. At this time, Fang Xian didn't even count as a warm-up. In his opinion, martial arts students are all at the basic level, which is really nothing. Ling Xiling took a deep breath, used her fingers as a sword, and unfolded the sword art of thousands of purples and reds. This set of swordsmanship is the secret tradition of the Kendo department of Qinhua University. It has complex changes when deployed, and there are tricks in every move. The key is that the posture is extremely graceful, like colorful falling flowers, under the beautiful scenery, burying cold and murderous intent. There is also a senior old professor who improved on the basis of the set of sword formulas and compiled a set of fingerings, in order to adapt to the special situation when the sword is not at hand. If it is said that with a sword in hand, Ken Daoshin's combat power can be increased by at least 50%. At this time, Ling Xiling unfolded the set of fingering techniques, at least enough to offset the dilemma of not having a sword in his hand, and exerted his full strength. Her sword steps flowed, and in an instant, Fang Xian stretched out 8 fingers. Fang Xian was also a little tired at this time. There was a serious expression on his face, and the green dragon with 8 steps of the flying dragon under his feet came out of the water, turned into a black shadow, and rushed into the sky full of finger shadows. Next moment. Boom! Ling Xiling was stunned and fell off the ring. Under the ring. He was dumbfounded, and suddenly yelled, Principal, I won't cancel it, the bet will continue, continue. Ha ha ha. I, actually lost? How did I lose? Why did I lose? Ling Ziling's face was dull, and she was also caught in the three philosophical questions. Only a congenital martial artist can see that Fang Xian's move just now is a perfect fusion of the great grasping hand and the 8 steps of the flying dragon, bringing forth the old and bringing forth the new. The winner, Luo Yi. During the referee's loud announcement, Fang Xianqi stepped off the ring and saw Ling Ziling, who was still sluggish, so, I shouldn't call it wooing leg, I should call it philosophy leg. When I go down with one leg, I'm sure to show up. 3 philosophical questions. Ling Ziling was pushed a few times by her companions, and finally came back to her senses, turned over and stood up, with a complicated expression. Luo Yi, congratulations on qualifying for the global competition, I'll wait for you in the Wushan district. Aha. Fang Xian hummed a few words, and Zhou He hugged him. Haha, well done, I won this time. There is also a bonus. Forget what you promised, you need to add money. Fang Xian nodded. Back at Dongzhou Technician College, Fang Xian looked up and saw a red banner. Congratulations to Luo Yi, a student from our school, for entering the top 100 in Dongzhou and advancing to the global competition. Is there a mistake? Is it so exaggerated? He made a complaint. After all, it's a happy event that hasn't happened in many years. Ning Chen was at the gate of the school. Hearing this, he smiled, and everyone knows that there is no hope of going to the Wushan district to compete, so now we can have fun. Martial God District, the most prosperous area of Valkyrie Star, is also the location of many first-class universities, and Martial God University is located there. The top 100 in that competition area will never fall out of the top 150 in the world. Well, Luo Yi, go back and have a good rest. You are going to set off with the school team and go to the Wushan district to participate in the team competition. The third round of individual competition will also be held there. The time of the two can be coordinated and there will be no conflict. Zhou He gave an order and slipped away on his own. Fang Xian stretched his waist. I want to take a good rest. When he returned to the dormitory, he saw Huang Lan coming to greet him. Captain, you are too good, Dongzhou top 100. Tisk tisk, we will have face if we say it. The top 100 in such a small place, that's all. Fang Xian glanced at the news on the computer. A real big hit? Yes, they are all in the Valkyrie district, and the most popular one is Huo Weiyang from the Mecha department of Valkyrie University. Huang Lan enviously said, the second most popular is Wushan University, Xiao Linger from the Mecha department. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 327. Fang Xian sat down in his seat and turned on the internet. After entering the keywords, it turned out that the rookie contest was very popular and there were detailed reports. Huo Weiyang, level 8 martial artist, tisk tisk, Rendu's second vein, which is the most difficult to cultivate, has all been condensed. It is said that he can break through the martial arts at any time, but he deliberately suppresses it, and wants to pursue the best state before breaking through. There is an analysis on the internet. The so-called best state is to sweep this freshman class and become the strongest rookie king. When you become the strongest rookie king, you will create an invincible momentum and break through the innate talent on the podium. Tisk tisk, I can't compare. Wang Lei sighed. Unexpectedly he didn't feel envious or jealous, because the gap was too big, he couldn't even get jealous. This pussy is a bit pretentious, it's fun to be punctured accidentally. Fang Xian complained, and continued to look down. The background is very big, the son of Huo Filong, the chairman of Interstellar Airlines. The winner in life, I can't wait to envy you. Huang Lan opened another piece of news. Look at this, she's an absolute beauty. Xiao Ling the 7th level warrior. The second most popular, the goddess in the hearts of boys. Valkyrie. Ning Chen added, if you marry someone like this who can't beat you, beware of domestic violence. Fang Xian nodded. The martial artist who has opened up Rendu's second vein is indeed a bit powerful. At this time, his true chi value was in the early 100s. When he met a martial artist like Ling Xiling who had just broken through, the total amount of true chi did not exceed him by much, only about 30% to 40%, which could be made up with experience in moves. However, for martial artists at the level of Rendu's second vein, the total amount of true energy is more than 200, which is already a problem of doubling and doubling, forming a crushing advantage for martial arts students. The internal force is too strong. Even if one force is reduced by 10 times, the general move experience cannot make up for it. Diddy. Your income from the account ending with. Suddenly, Fang Xian noticed a message coming from his communication bracelet, and he couldn't help nodding with satisfaction. Joe, he is awesome. If you say more money, you can add more money. But he should earn more, otherwise he won't be so happy. It was night. Fang Xian swaggered out of the school gate. The old man at the door took it easy and gave him a flattering smile. That's why Yeji University is so good. It doesn't matter whether the access control is there or not. It's a habit. After Fang Xian walked a certain distance, he immediately launched the Flying Dragon's 8 steps, and jumped up the wall in one fell swoop. If Zhou He was here, his eyes would surely fall out. Lightness Kung Fu swept 4 or 5 feet, more than 10 meters, almost comparable to a congenital martial artist. That is to say, bullying that there is no monitoring nearby. Fang Xian just roamed around to his heart's content, and in a blink of an eye he jumped onto the roof of a building. In addition to practicing martial arts during this time, he just made his own alchemy more adapt to the rules of this world, and he has already gained a little at this time. Flesh and flesh, invisible phantom. Fang Xian stretched out his hand to wipe his face, and the muscles and blood vessels began to fine-tune, turning into another face. At the same time, his figure also became translucent, as if covered with a layer of camouflage. This is the power of alchemy that has never appeared in this world. Once discovered, the consequences would be disastrous. After Fang Xian finished these, Shi Shiren started his lightness kung fu and came to the black market in Dongzhou. It is said to be a black market, but in fact there are no shops gathered in Dongzhou, which is too eye-catching. Most of them are scattered small shops. On the surface, they are no different from ordinary stores, but the boss secretly accepts some gray business of selling stolen goods and selling them. Fang Xian drove for a while, removed the invisible phantom technique, and swaggered into a car repair shop. I'm looking for Lao Huang, we have an appointment. He spoke lightly, with a low voice. In the car repair shop, a group of strong men with tattoos looked over. Their eyes were not friendly, but now they eased up a little, and went back to do their own things. When Fang Xian came to the office, he saw a middle-aged man in his 40s sitting on an office chair. Black Star, you are here. When Lao Huang saw Fang Xian, he quickly got up to make tea. This is a ruthless character, he is very hard-working and ruthless, very difficult to mess with. I brought the money, where are the things? Fang Xian threw a wad of cash on the table. In the... Lao Huang closed the office door and moved an oil painting to reveal the safe behind. He skillfully entered the password, opened a heavy valve, took out a small suitcase, and put it on the table, in front of Fang Xian. Open. Inside the suitcase was a jet black fragment, only the size of a palm. The fragments of the mecha are made of real steel and alloy. It took me a lot of favors to get it. Lao Wang's tone was very sad. Fang Xian grabbed it directly and injected a trace of true energy. Buzz. The real steel trembled immediately, and it was indeed highly sensitive to true energy, which is also the most convenient and accurate way to identify this alloy. Very well, the deal is done. Fang Xian nodded. Next time there will be such a thing, remember to call me, you know the contact information, If there is any real news about the mecha, remember to notify me. This is unlikely. We still want to live longer. It's okay to resell some fragments or small parts. Every core power machine has a number. Old Huang smiled wryly. As long as the benefits are big enough, there will always be people who are brave enough, right? I'm just buying news. Reselling mechas means reselling top-level arms, which involves too much, and Fang Xian can understand that this is just a hope. After walking out of the garage, he performed lightness kung fu and quickly disappeared. Of course he is very interested in the world's highest weapon, the mech. Today's side-by-side research is just a little tentative. After this period of testing and gathering information, it is impossible for civilians to learn to become mecha masters by themselves, unless they join the military or other superpowers. After all, it is the essence of a civilization. If I want to crack it through my own research, I will underestimate the other party. I need to study systematically. The best way is to become famous in one battle and then transfer to another school. If Zhou He knew Fang Xian's plan, he would probably vomit blood. The reason why Fang Xian is willing to come to this kind of pheasant university is because of the idea of transferring to another school, so as to save another year of re-study time. Even if there is no freshman competition this time, he will go to some competitions such as Xiao Holy Grail and Youth Tournament to make his debut, and then become a blockbuster, pinning his hopes on special moves. It's the scale, which needs to be carefully grasped. If the performance is not outstanding enough, it will not be able to impress the mecha department of the first-class university. If the performance is too monstrous, it will attract too much attention. However, I happen to have a target to imitate, Xiaowenzi. What kind of talent did she show, and she was specially recruited by the mecha department of Wushan University. This time I went to the martial god district, I just asked about it, and I also learned about the market. Only by knowing more information can we better plan for the future. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 328. Valkyrie District. The express floating train came to a complete stop, and a group of people walked out from the door. The team leader is Zhou He, followed by Fang Xian, Wang Lei, Ning Chen, and other 8 team members who participated in the team competition of the 100 school entrance examination. It was already winter at this time, and the major colleges and universities were just in the stage of winter vacation, which also gave each student more time to prepare. The martial god district is the political, economic, and cultural center of the Valkyrie Star. It deserves to be the most developed area. Individual competition finals and team battles are all held here. As soon as Huang Lan got out of the station, she looked around, full of curiosity. Actually, I think the individual competition has a bit of the nature of the joint martial arts exam, and the team competition is really just a performance by each school. Tao Yuan complained and looked at Zhou He. Teacher, where are we going next? Go to the venue to register first, and the organizing committee will arrange a hotel for us. Zhou He bared his teeth and said, the housing prices here are not cheap, especially those with a training ground and quiet. He looked at the taxi hailing area and quickly made a decision. As a martial artist, you must persist in exercising all the time. Now I declare, perform lightness kung fu, run to the venue, and set off. No. Huang Lan wailed, and had no choice but to run wildly with the suitcase on her back in front of the public with some shame. Fang Xian slowly stepped on the flying dragon for 8 steps, moving his body freely, with an elegant posture, and made a phone call by the way. Chai Jingguan? I've already arrived at the martial god district, see you at the competition venue. Also, I don't know how to change the T-balls. There is no communication, the previous number cannot be reached, you can find it for me. The competition venue is the Wushan District Public Gymnasium, which is famous for hosting various large-scale competitions. It covers a very large area, and there is also a residential area attached to it for players to rest. The greenery and environment are quite good. You wait here, I will register. When he arrived at the place, he hurried to register, and there were many schools around that also came to participate in the conference. Yellow and blue eyes fluttered around, mainly looking at places with beautiful women, and there was a sound of task in his mouth. The demeanor is very wretched. Fang Xian retreated a few steps indiscriminately, and saw that Tao Yuan and Zhang Lei hid the school badge representing the Dongzhou Technician College in tacit understanding. Ning Chen touched his head, as if he wanted to do the same thing. After all, most of the students gathered around at this time were from a certain second-rate college or a certain first-rate university. They mixed in with a group of junior college students, and it was indeed a bit eye-catching and inexplicable shame. But Fang Xian didn't care. The main reason was that he was thick-skinned enough, so he was watching from left to right at this moment. Old Luo. Suddenly, an excited shout was heard, and a figure unfolded the lightness kung fu of piercing flowers and leaves, deftly passed through the crowd, and came to him. It was the little fat man Chai Jingwen. I haven't seen him for a while. He looks fatter, but he has practiced well in Qinggong. Chai Jingwen put his arms around Fang Xian's shoulders, and said excitedly, "Didn't expect that. After my old Jin went to college, his martial arts improved by leaps and bounds. Now he is also a 12th level martial arts student and has reached the third round of the individual competition. Yeah, young Master Jin, your lightness kung fu of passing through flowers and leaves is indeed passing through thousands of flowers without a single leaf sticking to your body. It's the essence." Fang Xian boasted, and asked, "Where is the contact information of Cha Wanzi?" "This, I haven't found it yet. She has been studying hard since she was specially recruited into the mecha department of Wushan University. After all, it is unprecedented for a martial arts student to enter there. Cha is also under a lot of pressure." Chai Jingwen said slowly. Cha. Fang Xian glanced at Chai Jingwen. "Is there a story?" "Forget it, I don't want to hear it." He, we are all classmates after all." Chai Jingwen chuckled twice, and made an exaggerated gesture. "This time our Tianhua High School twin stars will compete in the rookie competition, and it will definitely shock the world. This performance is a bit exaggerated, and you will be deducted 1 point." Fang Xian teased. "Humph, you're not ashamed to say anything." Perhaps Chai Jingwen was too loud, dissatisfied with a group of students next to him. "You still want to shock the world? It's just a junior college, it's embarrassing to come for a day trip, right?" Fang Xian was speechless. It was clearly Chai Jingwen's fault, but he actually focused the fire on him. Is it true that poor students have no human rights? Huanglan is a bitch and doesn't want to suffer. Seeing that the other party is 5 muscular guys, she immediately sprayed back, Yuan, Zhang Lei, look at this school is so miserable, 5 bachelors. Could it be that the training is Tongzai You. As the saying goes, you don't hit someone in the face. Huang Yian's words really hit the pain point of the other party, and she was so angry that her nose was almost crooked. One of the leaders pulled out his saber with a choke sound. "I am Qin Lifeng from the 5 Tigers Academy, and I want to compete with you." At last, he was still a little sober, knowing that he couldn't fight in the venue, but it didn't matter what the competition was. "What's going on, what's going on?" When he came back, he was shocked when he saw the scene of swords drawn. "Teacher, he bullied us and said that we came for a day trip." Huanglan quickly complained. "Aren't you a pheasant university specializing in a one-day tour, so it's embarrassing?" Qin Lifeng saw an old man coming, straightened his back immediately, and said loudly, "I don't accept it, let's compete now." "Okay Lifeng, people who practice martial arts can't be impulsive, How many times have I told you? The old man was wearing a long black gown, with the demeanor of a master, and came to the field with his hands behind his back. It's all gone, huh? When he saw Fang Xian, his eyes were a little surprised. Are you that Luo Yi who has lost all martial arts? Vice Principal Qin, we meet again. Fang Xian greeted lightly. Are you a member of the school team? This is our captain. Do you two know each other? He glanced at the school badge composed of 5 tiger heads on the chest of the old man and Qin Lifeng, and asked with a smile. Mr. Qin shook his head, becoming even more speechless, and turned around to reprimand Qin Lifeng. You bastard, haven't you seen that the captain of the team is all rehabilitated? If you win this kind of team, you will be laughed at. Yes, you still take the initiative to challenge. Are you planning to make a name for the other party? Hurry up and leave. Let's go. Qin Lifeng was trained like a third grandson, so he turned around and left. But one of the team members turned around and taunted loudly, sure enough, the captain is trash, and the team members are also trash, so you are only worthy of a day trip. I want to hit them. Teacher, don't stop me. Huanglan was furious. I didn't stop you, you go, he said with a serious face. This is a second-rate academy, and any member of the team has the strength of Wushan above 10th level. You go fight. He first reprimanded Huanglan for a few words, and then he said to the team members earnestly, confidence is not based on loud voice, but on hard strength. If you don't want to be looked down upon by others, you should practice martial arts with heart. Beat back the shame. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 329. After a few days. The conference arena, in the rest area. Fang Xian had a hat on his face, and in his ear was the master of ceremonies, well-spoken, enthusiastic, but somewhat fake long speech. Isn't it our turn yet? He turned over and yawned, asking a little boredly. It's almost there, it's almost there. Teacher he is watching. Wang Lei was on the side, his hands sweating from nervousness. Then let me arrange the tactics, it will be a will battle. The mage will go up first to start the team, and then the shooter, no, the striker Zhang Lei will go first. She has the highest level among you. She has to play aggressively, followed by Wang Lei, Tao Yuan, second General Ning Chen. I will guard the gate at the end, as discussed last night. Is there no problem? Fang Xian looked at the 4 of them. If you feel uncomfortable, please let me know in advance and let a substitute come on. I can do it. Zhang Lei clenched her fists to cheer herself up. It's okay if you can't. Tao Yuan glanced at the 4th level of Wushan next to her, with a yellow and blue face that was eager to try. She only had one thought in her heart, she couldn't let this guy go up and embarrass herself in front of the whole world. The result is out. We are in the 3rd game in the 8th division, and our opponent is Jinxing Martial Arts University, a third-rate university. Not long after, he came back. In their team, there are 2 martial arts students at the 7th level, and 2 martial arts students at the 8th level. The captain is Huang Daoshan, who is at the 9th level of martial arts. You have to be careful. There are still a few of you. If you die, you have to kill a few more people on the other side, so as to give Luo Yi a chance to save his strength, understand? He was fairly knowledgeable, knowing that Luo Yi was the only one who could fight. If he was exhausted and paralyzed, it was all over. Understood, teacher. The 7 team members agreed loudly in unison. In the afternoon, the 8th division. Under. From Venus Martial Arts University, against Dongzhou Technician College. Although it is only a division arena, the arena is huge, with cameras in all 4 corners and audience stands. Although there are not many people, it also brings great pressure to the rookies. Even for Ning Chen and Zhang Lei, their hearts beat slightly faster. The number 1 player from both sides enters the field. At the referee's order, Zhang Lei entered the arena with a pair of Yuan Yang knives. The striker Wushan on the opposite side was at the 7th level. Even if the opponent was not as good as him, he observed carefully, I want to compete with fists and kicks. The turntable rotated on the screen, and finally the result came out, it was a fight. Too bad. Seeing this scene, Zhou He's face changed drastically. Apart from Fang Xian, Zhang Lei is not only the most skilled in the team, but more importantly, she has a set of Wangman Dao, which can only be practiced by women. This time she was disarmed, and the opponent's skills were higher than hers, so it was very difficult to fight. Sure enough, after the two sides saluted, they exchanged dozens of moves, and Zhang Lei was knocked out of the ring by the opponent's move of sweeping thousands of troops. Zhang Lei, watch me avenge you. Wang Lei entered the field with a roar, and was kicked off after failing to make a few moves. He started to run out of energy, so I fought him hard. Tao Yuan took off her glasses and went on stage, but her opponent walked her dog lightly, and finally left the stage with her tongue stuck out, which allowed her opponent to adjust her breath to regain some physical strength. 3 in a row, 3 in a row. The coach on the opposite side yelled, come on, fight for a string of fives. Dream. Ning Chen snorted coldly and jumped onto the ring. After practicing hard during this period of time, his moves and skills have made some progress, and he almost broke through the 6th level of Wushan. Although the opponent is a 7th level, but the state is really not good. The two exchanged hundreds of moves one after another, and the opponent purposely sold an opening. Ning Chen, who was eager to win, did not hesitate, grabbed the opponent's wrist with a powerful move, and broke the bone with a click. But he also exposed the empty door because of this, and was kicked until he vomited blood and fell to the ground. A string of 4. A string of 4. The voice on the other side got louder, and the student continued to stand on the ring triumphantly. Although he had an arm hanging, he still looked like a proud victorious rooster. Achievement. Captain, it's up to you. Huang Lan said with a mournful face, I don't want to go on a day trip. Luo Yi, kill them. Zhou He's eyes turned redder, I'm betting bigger this time. Ugh. Fang Xian shook his head, sighed and stood up, muttering to himself. Only Huang Lan, who was the closest, could barely hear a few words, the mage is useless, the shooter kneels when he goes out, the jungler is flying all over the field, and the support is not compatible, but I won in the end after I placed the order silently. Fang Xian came to the ring. Dongzhou Technician College, who had already knelt 4 times in a row, had long been out of favor at this time, and even the photographer yawned boredly. The only thing they were looking forward to was whether the striker of Jinxing Martial Arts University could complete a series of 5 achievements and completely nail Dongzhou Technician College to the pillar of shame. Both sides choose punches and kicks, and the game begins. As soon as the referee's voice fell, Fang Xian glanced at the boy on the opposite side with I still have blood and I can show off written all over his face, stepped forward lightly, and hooked his feet. Snapped. The boy fell headlong to the ground, unfortunately hit the wound on his arm again, and passed out from the pain abruptly. Hey, after all, we have won 4 games in a row, Wang Qiao, you go. The coach of Venus Martial Arts University sighed, he didn't really expect himself to be able to kill 4 times with a striker, and then kill the enemy's general with residual blood, and send an 8th level martial arts student to play. Wang Qiao, please advise. The trick is to end quickly. Fang Xian Filong bullied him with 8 steps, and made another move of leopard tail kick. A fresh move, eating all over the world. As soon as his philosophical kick came out, Wang Qiao fell down in response, his face was full of black question marks. This captain is unusual, maybe all the resources on the other side will be thrown at him. Huang Daoshan, you have to prepare. The coach of Jinxing Martial Arts University looked serious, and looked at the other 2 players, you two, go up and compete with weapons, and try to consume more of each other. Rest assured. Huang Daoshan folded his hands and stared at the field coldly. Boom. Boom. Fang Xian came and went with an ordinary magic machine leopard tail. No matter what weapon the opponent used, he just knocked him down with one kick, and in the blink of an eye, there was a series of fours, allowing Huang Daoshan to play. You are very nice, it is a pity that you met me. Huang Daoshan rubbed his hands together, and the palms turned blood red. This is the red fire flame palm, a unique martial art with a higher level than the great capture hand. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Fang Xian smiled slightly and stepped forward. This time, he didn't move his legs, but just slapped lightly. Heavenly official blessing. Snapped. Although this palm was ordinary, it contained extremely powerful internal force, and it directly smashed Huang Daoshan's blocking palm away, and imprinted it on his forehead. Huang Daoshan rolled his eyes and passed out on the spot. Winner, Eastern State Technical College. The referee nodded and announced loudly, feeling that although the strength of both sides was not good, Dongzhou Technician College was first defeated by a series of fours, and then staged a comeback of the Jedi Pentakills. At least the drama is enough, maybe after the broadcast, it will still attract people. Click ratings or something. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 330. Win, we won. When Fang Xian returned to the rest area, Huang Lan was as excited as something. Zhou He also had a smile on his face, but saw more things, and asked, "What is your cultivation?" "Wu Sheng is perfect. I think it's better for me to be the striker if we compete in the future, otherwise I'm afraid the scene will be too ugly." Fang Xian said seriously. "I have no opinion." The other team members nodded one after another, while Ning Chen was a little sad. The speed at which Wushan condenses meridians is very slow, and 1 meridian a year is considered excellent. He has been in school for half a year and has not yet broken through, but Fang Xian actually broke through 6 levels in a row and reached the Wushan Dzogchen. Even if it was a waste of work and rebuilt, there is nothing to say. In the next few games, Fang Xian acted as a striker, and won all over the world with his philosophical kick, winning calmly. After all, the group battle has just begun, and the opponent's strength is not too strong. And Wushan's Dzogchen realm is already at the level of an outstanding first-year student in a first-class university. If Luo Yi hadn't given up on the Mecha department of Martial God University, he would have been able to make a living in other first-class universities. Fang Xian, who played 5 games in a row, successfully won the title of Goal God. One god led 4 pits, and kept eliminating other teams. Wang Lei and the others really became spectators. Anyway, as their opponents cultivated higher and higher, they were all desperate. If Luo Yi kneels, they don't even need to play, they can just admit defeat. The team battle is currently an elimination system. If you lose a game, you can go home, but as long as you win another game, you can qualify and enter the new competition system. On this day, on the field, Zhou Hexing came back in a hurry. As long as we win one more game, we can get unprecedented good grades in the school, and there will be bonuses. Boss, it's up to you. Wang Lei and Huang Lan have adapted to the positioning of the leg pendant during this time, and their first reaction was to hug Fang Xian's thigh. Who is the opponent? Fang Xian asked casually. 5 Tigers Academy, 2 martial arts students of 10th level, 2 martial arts students of 11th level, Captain Qin Li Feng, Wu Sheng Dzogchen. Their academy is good at the 5 Tigers knife, cold and vicious, and extremely sharp sword skills. You have to be more careful. Zhou He exhorted. The 5 opponents must all choose to use weapons. Randomly, there will probably be 2 fights with real swords and guns. And Luo Yi didn't show his weapon skills, let alone his hands and feet. If he was cut with a knife, the injury would be serious. The enemy's road is narrow. Fang Xian nodded and continued to rest with his eyes closed. For him, this is just like a child's playhouse game. In the end, our opponent is Dongzhou Technician College. It's really unexpected that a mere pheasant university can go so far. In the lounge of the Five Tigers Academy, Qin Lifeng, who had 5 tiger head badges on his chest, sighed and arranged tactics. Except for the captain, Luo Yi, everyone else is useless. We will focus on Luo Yi, and you guys will come on stage. They all choose to use weapons, fight as much as possible, be careful of the sneak attack with the leopard's tail. If you can't kill him, you will exhaust him. If you exhaust him, we will win. After he finished speaking, he turned around and looked at Vice President Qin, who was leading the team. Is there anything else you can add, teacher? There is none left. Vice Principal Qin shook his head. I just didn't expect that Luo Yi would have such a hidden special physique. It's a pity that the recovery progress of waste work is so fast. If I had known, it would have been okay to give him that quota back then. But it caused the academy to lose a talent. No matter how talented you are, if you go to that kind of school, you will be abolished. Qin Lifeng clenched the handle of the knife tightly, his eyes were cold. The next match, Five Tigers Academy, will face Dongzhou Technician Academy. Fang Xian stepped onto the arena and found that not only the arena had become much bigger, but there were also more cameras around, and the audience seats were almost full. Lao Luo, come on. At some point, Chai Jingwen also came to the auditorium, or the special seat in the front row, and shouted loudly. Fang Xian pretended not to see him, and started to spin the lottery. Weapon. He was unlucky in the first match, and his opponent came up with a machete in his hand. The talented student of the Five Tigers Academy yelled, and he rolled on the ground with a sharp knife, but he slashed at Fang Xian 3 times. Damn it! How can there be such a despicable and shameless sword technique in the world? On the stands, Chai Jingwen burst into foul language. Don't talk nonsense if you don't understand. The way of martial arts is practical. What's the point of being ugly and cruel? A spectator next to him rolled his eyes. Although the Wuhujuihu knife's posture is a little ugly, it is indeed a high-quality knife technique. Wu Ying's leg is in trouble. As soon as he uttered the word ha, Fang Xian first hit the opponent's wrist with a move of coaxing kick fight, causing the machete to fly out of his hand, and then kicked him off the field with one kick. Luo Yishan. He, the audience laughed dryly. Luo Yi is a martial arts student after all, but this time it is also dangerous. Look, he is unlucky and has drawn a weapon again. Just as he finished his sentence, Fang Xian kicked his opponent off the court again. Weapon. Weapon. Bang, bang. Chai Jingwen looked at Luo Yi's string of 4, and couldn't help but excitedly grab the audience's hand. Sir, you are poisonous milk, give the other side another sip. Audience. Captain, we lost. Several team members were speechless and lost. They wanted to fight, but unfortunately their lightness skills were not as good as each other's, so they couldn't entangle each other. You guys have worked hard enough, look at me. With a red belt tied on his forehead, Qin Lifeng jumped onto the ring with a long knife in his arms. Fang Xian, who was unlucky enough to draw 4 weapons one after another, suddenly broke out in character this time, and the pointer on the screen stopped at half of the fist and foot. Competition of fists and kicks, please discard the sword. The referee was expressionless and authentic. Qin Lifeng's face immediately turned purple. The winner of this game, Dongzhou Technician College. Accompanied by the referee's loud announcement, Qin Lifeng had to continue playing, bowing and saluting with the opponent, as if he had been slashed in the face. Huanglan winked, very excited, feeling like revenge. Vice President Qin, on the other hand, smiled, as if he didn't care about a victory or defeat. After finishing the etiquette, he looked at Fang Xian. Student Luo's martial arts skills are excellent, and he is even better at adapting to the situation. It's a pity that you can't learn it in Dongzhou. If you have time to learn advanced martial arts, you can come to Woohoo Academy for a visit. You old bastard, pry the corner of my wall face to face, Joe's nose almost turned out of anger. Dongzhou Technician College is suffering. After decades of hard work, he finally picked up a leak. He almost wanted to fight. Unfortunately, he couldn't beat the opponent. At this moment, he couldn't help looking at Luo Yi nervously. Sorry, I'm not interested, I'm leaving first. How could Fang Xian think of a mere second rate? After glancing at the communication information, he came to the rest area. Haha, Lao Luo, congratulations. Chai Jingwen laughed and stepped forward to give him a hug. Also, I found out that Cha-Cha has been in retreat and hard training before, and she was absent from the individual battle, but her name is on the substitute list for the team battle at Wushan University. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 331. It can always be seen at the end of the group battle, and that's fine. Fang Xian nodded. Immediately, Zhou came back with a group of people. Haha, boss, you did a good job. I didn't see the old man's face when he refused on the spot. You can start a pickle factory. Huang Yian's mouth is unobstructed. Zhou also smiled all over his face. If you win this time, you can rest for a while, and the team competition system will also be changed. Luo Yi, you still need to participate in individual competitions. Be careful not to overwork and damage your body. I will follow your game. Old Zhou, tell the truth, are you betting on me again, or there are still peripherals? Fang Xian pulled Zhou aside and asked with a smile. What do you want? Zhou subconsciously covered his wallet. Of course, I'm taking a gamble too, I'm betting on myself. Fang Xian said seriously. Are you so confident? In the third round of individual battles, warriors are very common, everyone has excellent martial arts. Zhou said at the end, his tone became a little sad. I don't recommend you to go to the Five Tigers College, but if a teacher with a first-class university takes a fancy to you, don't miss the chance. He really knows how bad his school is, and he also knows that once a first-class university recruits, students will definitely not be able to withstand the temptation. Moreover, this student was really buried in his own school. It is better to let go than to mess around. Thank you, teacher. Fang Xian saluted. Zhou's suggestion was sincerely for the benefit of the students, and it was worthy of a gift. The major teams in the team battle have qualified one after another. After the competition came to an end, the individual battle was put on the agenda again. Compared with the school team, which is the school's signature, the rookie contest, which highlights the individual warriors, is obviously more sought after by the media, and there are special reports every day. Huo Weiyang is still riding the dust. It is the favorite to win the championship. Xiao Linger followed closely behind, probably unable to escape the top three. Fang Xian looked at the entry list and found several familiar names such as Song Jinggang. Tisk tisk, there are more warriors, but few martial arts students. Wushan doesn't have a 12th level Dzogchen, so I'm embarrassed to play. He was thinking about how much he had to perform in order to impress the teachers of first-class universities, and he did not hesitate to recruit him into the mecha department, but he couldn't be too showy. It's a pity that the best reference T-balls are not available, so I can only make them myself first. He was contemplating when he saw Zhou coming in. I've already placed the bet for you. Are you so confident? Whether you have confidence depends on your fist, not your mouth. Fang Xian put on the school uniform very seriously, and pinned the badge of Dongzhou Technician College on his chest. Although he wanted to transfer to another school, but this time he played, it was considered as free fame for the school, and no endorsement fee was charged. Although you are very powerful, Don't underestimate the talents of the world. I just got the battle table, Joe, he said with a bitter face. Your first opponent is not easy, it is Shi Tianzong of Zen University, martial artist level 2. Warrior. Zen University is also a top-notch famous school, and several peerless martial arts are unparalleled. Your martial arts are too bad. Speaking of this, Joe, he wanted to cry. Apart from Luo Yi, which of the contestants who made it to the third round didn't have a high level of martial arts? Only Fang Xian is still using the big grabbing hand and Fi Longbabu of Rotten Street. That Iron Rooster principal didn't even approve a special sum of money for Luo Yi to buy an advanced martial arts, and the reason is very good. Any martial arts requires a long time of hard work, and hard work to form an instinct. The time is too short, but harmful rather than beneficial. This is really reasonable, but Joe, he seriously suspects that the principal has been corrupted or has insufficient funds, so Fang Xian can only rely on intermediate martial arts to conquer the world. Student Luo Yi, please get ready, the next round will be you. A staff member came in and reminded softly. Okay. Fang Xian walked to the preparation area, and the applause from outside the stadium rushed towards him. On the ring, Song Jinggong punched out and knocked his opponent off the ring. At this time, he was already a martial artist, and when he saw Fang Xian, he couldn't help being stunned, and then walked off the field. Next match, Shi Tianzong of Zen University, against Dongzhou Technician College, Luo Yi. The referee looked at the list in his hand and almost choked on his own saliva. When will the students of Pheasant University be able to compete on this global stage? Fang Xian floated onto the stage, and saw a bright bald head on the opposite side. Well, Zen University is a men's college, only accepting boys, and there are a series of strict rules, one of which is that you must shave your head when you enter the school. Student, you should admit defeat. Shi Tianzong clasped his hands together and saluted. I'm already a warrior, and my subordinates are too heavy. It won't be good if I hurt you. In that case, why don't you admit defeat? I won't be hurt if you admit defeat, Fang Xian sneered. Oh, then there's nothing to talk about, we still have to fight? Shi Tianzong's expression became incomparably serious, his internal energy was activated, and his aura became even more mighty and extraordinary. After arriving at the Zen University, he gave up the original basic internal strength and changed to the advanced internal strength of Arhat divine art. Arhat magic is the secret transmission of Zen University. The meridians cultivated are most suitable for Zen martial arts, and the power can be increased by about 20 to 30%. Not only that, but the nature of the accumulated true Qi internal force is far beyond the basic internal energy of the whiteboard without attributes. In addition, he was already a martial artist, so if he just looked at his internal strength, he would be absolutely crushed. Fang Xian became a little more serious, and slid forward like a loach, unfolding the light kung fu of the golden loach, crossing the river with 8 steps of flying dragon, moving forward and backward, left and right. Suddenly, Shi Tianzong felt his feet tripped, his body's center of gravity was out of balance, and he fell to the ground involuntarily. Facing Fang Xian's shadowless leg, he still fell. Heavy catty pendant. After all, Shi Tianzong is not those warriors before. In order to be admitted to the Zen University, he honed his martial arts every day, and he practiced extremely solidly. In a moment of urgency, he hastened to use his kung fu, stabilized his center of gravity, and performed the peerless lightness kung fu of crossing the river with a reed. This is also the first time since Wing Leg's debut that there is no opponent who has made a single blow. Shi Tianzong was in mid-air, saw Fang Xian's position, and had already regarded him as an unprecedented enemy. With 5 fingers together, he spoke the truth, Da-Yi Tian Long Fist. Zen University has 2 peerless martial arts and 1 boxing method called Da-Yi Tian Long Boxing. One palm technique is Dafen Prajna Palm. As soon as a punch is released, the shadow of the boxing all over the sky covers the field, making it impossible to avoid. At the same time, Shi Tianzong still seemed dissatisfied and chanted the mantra, Om. This is the secret biography of Zen University, the six-character mantra, which is divided into Om, Ma, Ni, Ba, Mu, Hum. The word has the ability to increase true energy. Mechanic armor system, peerless internal strength and moves, and auxiliary secret techniques, this is the foundation of the famous martial arts university. The Lord of Reincarnation. Author, Wen Xiaogong. Chapter 332. War University Rest Area. Song Jinggong didn't leave, his eyes were fixed on the screen. It's this little guy, I remember that he was completely abolished in martial arts, and he came back after practicing in half a year. It seems that he has the kind of physique that is very suitable for retraining. The eyes of the female teacher surnamed he who went to Tianhu High School to preside over the enrollment at the beginning brightened. It's a pity, it's still half a year behind others. King Kong, you have become a martial artist, this is the gap, it's a pity, if it was. Song Jinggong looked embarrassed, knowing that if Luo Yi hadn't gone mad at the beginning, maybe he was the one who was specially recruited. Teacher, he smiled, but half a year late is too late, plus he didn't retake the exam to a good school, that's it, you see. Shi Tianzong exerted his full strength, and he was about to lose. This Shi Tianzong very powerful, if you face him, the chance of winning is less than 20%. Song Jinggong couldn't laugh anymore. At this moment, he heard exclamations from the field, raised his head in astonishment, looked at the screen, and opened his mouth wide. It turned out that, Luo Yi won? The warriors fight too fast, and there are slow-motion replays of important events, and there are special explanations by the warriors. At this time, the slow motion just now was playing. In the shadow of fists all over the sky, Luo Yi's figure sprang out like a loach, and suddenly soared into the sky. 8 steps of the flying dragon is in the sky. He leaped high, broke through Shi Tianzong's boxing technique, and stepped on the opponent's back. Shi Tianzong fell to the ground involuntarily, and wanted to fight again, but was stopped by the referee. He fell out of bounds. I didn't expect, he could cultivate Fi Longbabu to such a state. Teacher, his eyes lit up, if he can reach the top 8 this time, no, top 16. I'll invite him again. She looked at Song Jinggong, who was looking down, and couldn't help but smile. Don't be too discouraged, the quota for the mecha department has already been set, and so many resources have been invested in the early stage, and there is no way to change it. Even if he is specially recruited, it can only be martial arts, not mecha. Yes. Song Jinggong's eyes lit up. I still have a mecha, as long as I become a martial artist, I will be a mecha master. I will definitely not be surpassed by him. Poor Xiaosong High School is often overwhelmed by Luo Yi. There is already a psychological shadow, and now there is only such a simple little pursuit left. Haha, good job, this time I made a lot of money. When Fang Xian returned to the rest area, he saw Zhou He's excited face. If you think about it, you know how unpopular he is as a military student, and how high the peripheral odds are. If Zhou He also bought himself, he must have made a lot of money. Next time, continue to buy me. Add my share of the winning money. Fang Xiandao. So confident, why don't you accept it if it doesn't work out? Zhou He asked in surprise, this money is enough for you to change into a good exercise. Need not. Fang Xian waved his hand, at least I don't think it's a big problem before the semi-finals. You can do it, then beat the semi-finals directly and make it a super upset. Zhou He's gambler temper came up again. For the rest of the race, Fang Xian had a smooth ride. Ordinary warriors of the second and third levels are really not his opponents. After all, even if these freshmen have practiced advanced martial arts for just a few months, they really have no power and only have airs. He played silently like this, most of the time he overturned his opponent with his philosophical legs, and gave away a set of 3 philosophical questions for free. Over time, the nickname of Shadowless Legs was called again, and it became even louder. From Dongzhou Top 100 to Global Top 100, he became the only martial artist among hundreds of warriors. Even Fang Xian found it a bit dazzling to see. During the period, I also ran into Song Jinggang. After the opponent was defeated, he cried so badly, like a child weighing several hundred caddies. Fang Xian was a little embarrassed. On the contrary, teacher, he also came over, and first exchanged feelings, revealing some information about transferring schools. Fang Xian asked insincerely, and found that the other party didn't even give a place in the mecha department, which was quite dishonest, so there was no more. Afterwards, he became more and more courageous in the battle, defeated the masters of all sides, and unexpectedly reached the top 8, smashing his glasses all over the place. The quarter-finals advanced to the semi-finals, the arena. I'm going to send it, I'm going to send it. Holding the betting ticket in one hand, Joe stared at the lottery screen for the quarter-finals, then bet on you to enter the semi-finals early. Haha, the odds are so high. That's right, most martial artists are above level 5, and I'm the only martial artist. Fang Xian also felt a little eye-catching, but what was even more strange was that, not to mention Ares University, even other first-class universities, no mecha department was willing to recruit him. Teacher, why no mecha department is willing to recruit me? After thinking about it, he still asked the question. Sigh, because the mecha department has the tightest quota and is the most stuck. Most of those teachers really don't have this power, and too many resources have been invested. Although you are making their hearts beat now, you haven't reached that point yet. Joe shook his head. That is to say, isn't he genius enough? Fang Xian understood. Well, regardless of those, the remaining 7 are difficult to fight, but as long as you don't meet fighters who are above the 7th level of warriors and cultivate the second line of Ren and Du, you still have a chance. Joe's eyes were fixed on the screen, and he saw that the flashing martial artist's portrait paused. The order of the battle, the first match, Xiaolinger vs Luo Yi. The host's enthusiastic voice came. Xiaolinger is the big hit this year, the goddess in the hearts of countless boys, and Luo Yi is the biggest dark horse. He has come to the present with the appearance of a martial arts student. Let us look forward to their wonderful performance together. Which performed? Wipe. Joe was furious. I want to tear up tickets. I want to tear up tickets. I can't meet anyone? Why did I meet Xiaolinger, who is the second most popular? Have you ever practiced the second line of Ren and Du? That's a completely different warrior. It's over. My wife Ben. It's better than meeting Huo Weiyang, isn't it? Fang Xian rolled his eyes. It's okay if you tear up your betting ticket, don't tear up mine. Yeah. Are you sure about this? Joe was pleasantly surprised. Didn't you read her profile? This is my high school classmate, my former crush. Fang Xian stood up and stretched his muscles. So. Joe had an inexplicably ominous premonition. So, Lao Zhou, you have to pay more for this. Fang Xian said seriously. No problem, I'll apply for the scholarship for you. Joe was very generous. If he won this one, he could almost retire. It's not that, it's your bet, I get 30%. Fang Xian thought for a while, and made a gesture of 3, think clearly, if I lose, your gambling ticket will be a piece of paper. Success. I promise you. Joe agreed viciously, and immediately looked at Fang Xian, marveling, it's the first time I've seen someone who even hits his crush for money. You are indeed more shameless than me.